Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a review of the Rove R3 dash cam. I've had it for a few months now and getting to know it. Really like it and figured I'd share it with you all. If you watch this video and you like what you see, check the description or a pinned comment for a link to the product, and if I happen to come across any discount codes or anything, I'll post them there. So without further ado, this is a 3-channel camera, meaning that it films in front of you, behind you, and inside the cabin. So it is all-encompassing, and I already have this installed. As I mentioned, I've had it for a while. If we look, you can't... As I mentioned, I've had it installed, and it's a little hard to see with all the glare on the windshield, but it's pretty inconspicuous when mounted. Everything from the front is black, and except for the adhesive pad, which is a little bit gray, but doesn't really stand out. You can maybe see the camera lens right about there, but there's the front, and then there's the back right here. Again, not totally conspicuous. And if you jump inside, you can see, well, if I focus on it, there we go. Not much to it. Turn on the car. You can see the main display is the front of the car, and then we have the rear view and the inside. I'll include some audio from the camera here. This is the built-in microphone on the camera. If we take a quick look at some of the menu options, you can obviously control things like video resolution. You get to choose whether you want all 3 cameras running, just the front and the cabin, or just the front and the rear, or just the front. If you notice, if you just do front, we can have 3840 resolution on the front camera. If we go for all 3, it does take down the resolution a little bit because it's capturing multiple channels, but it's still very acceptable. There are all sorts of, whether you want the IR LEDs to light up the inside. If we go in there, we have a Wi-Fi mode, which we'll do in a minute. All the standard kind of stuff you'd expect. It's very easy to use menu. I'll turn on Wi-Fi mode in a little bit and we can look at it. But it's a very intuitive camera to use. All the lenses can be adjusted up and down. You can tilt up and down as need be. And the rear camera as well. So they are positionable. Let me go back. Like it's a little low right now, I can point it up, and now it's a better view of the road and everything around. You can see there's a mile per hour. You can turn that on or off as you want, and that's very easy to use interface. I mounted it over kind of behind the mirror so that it's not obstructing view lines at all. And if we give it a minute, I have it set to blank the screen other than the mile per hour readout, so it won't be really annoying for the passenger either. So in terms of how to install it, it's maybe hard to tell. You can maybe see the Rove logo right here. There's a clear plastic pad, I guess you could say, that comes with it. And I was skeptical well, basically you put that down and it makes it pretty easy to remove if you need to. It's not made to be transportable per se, but it is removable if you change cars or whatever. And then you put the adhesive pad on that sticker. Now, you could just mount it to the glass, but you can see like I'm partly mounted over the masking, and I'd be afraid that the pad would tear some of that off if I ever had to take the camera off. Same thing in the back. There's a little plastic sticker, quote sticker, that you put in, and that protects the heating element of the back window from getting ripped off. So yeah, you just put that sticker on and then put the camera down on it, and you can see I ran the two wires up. The power wire just runs along inside of here, makes the jump across there. Doesn't look, almost looks like trim, down inside the panel, down along the floorboard, and then up into the outlet. The rear camera, similar, goes up along the headboard, makes the jump across the A-pillar. It's a little close, down along the floorboard, all the way to the back, where I run it up along the back side of the seat, inside that rear pillar, up along the back glass, and down there. It takes a little bit. They do give you a little plastic tool that I don't have handy, but it helps to pull panels and run the wire behind there. You just, you know, there's plenty. This is a Hyundai Sonata, fairly, you know, a typical sedan length, and there's plenty of wire to get to the rear camera without any issues. So, you know, give yourself an hour or so. You can run the wires. It's not hard. It's just take your time and think about it. Make sure you're not pinching the wires and anything. And you can get a nice clean install. If you really want to do some modifications, like I have this wire coming over here, you could easily, you know, take this apart further and maybe put a little hole in there to run the wire and make it even cleaner. But I want to make this easily removable with no lasting damage. So that's it. Let me get into the menu here, and we'll cover what the video looks like and all that kind of stuff. When you first use the app, it'll walk you through selecting the camera, setting up an account, and show you helpful hints. And then you can connect over Wi-Fi. By default, you get a live view, which you can switch between the various cameras. You can also go to full screen on any camera. You also have access to all recordings by the camera that recorded it. You can go through any of the menu options, which you might find easier to use on the phone. The app makes it easy to update the firmware. The micro SD card is on the side and easy to access. I'm using a 128 Samsung Evo. And here's what you really care about: the video samples. Front camera, cabin camera, and rear camera. Make sure you mount the camera in the path of the windshield wipers so it stays clean in the rain. And here's some night footage at 4K. Here's lower resolution with all three cameras. Interior illuminated with the IR, and the rear camera. And finally, here's some footage at 4K. Remember that the 4K is only available when there's a single camera. Overall, I'm happy with the quality. I think this camera is a good compromise on cost and performance, especially when it goes on sale. My wife drives a lot, and it's good to know we're well protected should anything ever happen. It won't be their word against ours. We'll be able to prove what happened. Depending on what resolution you use and the time of day, you might not always be able to read license plates. That's a common issue across cameras. The quality is always good enough to see the lines on the road and what vehicle is doing what. I have an older single camera Rove in my car and would absolutely replace it with one of these R3 units if it ever dies or I start driving a lot more. So in closing, Check out the link in the description or the pinned comment if you think you might buy one. If you do buy one using my link, it'll help support the channel, and I would much appreciate that. I also keep those areas updated with any coupon codes or sales information. And finally, until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.